Are you wondering where Bostonians go on vacation? Or maybe you live here and you're just looking for some ideas. There are so many places to go for a weekend getaway. I just got back from vacation and I thought, what a great opportunity to share 5 terrific spots to go on a summer vacation from Greater Boston. I'm Jane, I'm a realtor in Wellesley. Each week I release a video about living in Greater Boston, about different communities, so please subscribe so you can catch the next one. And if you're thinking about relocating here, please reach out as I would love to help you. Here are 5 examples of great places to go on vacation. And I'm going to just say that this is just my opinion. I'm going to throw out some gross generalizations. So if you take issue with any of my opinions, they're just my opinions and where I like to go, where I've grown up going after living here my whole life. So please bear that in mind. But we're first going to talk about Cape Cod, which is also known as the Cape. We just got back from a vacation in New Seabury. So I'm going to give you some idea of what it's like. There are loads of options, and I'm going to give you some idea of drive times from Boston proper. So if you are going to the Cape, it can take you anywhere from 90 minutes to 3 hours, depending on how far down the Cape you're going and during what time of day that you leave. The most important thing to know is that there is definitely traffic going to the Cape. There are 2 bridges that go over the Cape Cod Canal, and they get very busy and very slow during peak travel times, like obviously weekends throughout the summer. The Cape is a long elbow. You can go to the very tip of Provincetown on a ferry from downtown Boston, which will greatly reduce your travel time. But of course, then you're not going to have a car when you get there. Or you can drive. So the beginning of the Cape is closer to 90 minutes, even less sometimes from Boston. And there's a bay side and an ocean side. So the ocean side has really cold water and lots of crashing waves. And the inside can be quite calm, which is great if you're traveling with little kids. I grew up going to Orleans, which is right on the elbow of the Cape. So there was a Nauset Beach, was very cold and great big awesome waves. But then we could go over to Skakit Beach on the inside, which was nice and calm, which was great when I was little and when my kids were little. So there's something for everyone. There's lots of different home styles and there's lots of different home prices for buying. We like to go now to New Seabury, which is in Mashpee near Falmouth. So that's much closer than driving where I did as a kid to Orleans. And we have a 2-bedroom townhome that we stay in there. But in that one community, there's a couple golf courses, there's waterfront, and the Papaneset Inn, which is a great place for weddings and social events. And there's everything from small townhomes to $9 million oceanfront luxury homes that I drool looking at from the beach. The second place I'm going to talk about are the islands. So off of Cape Cod, there are several awesome islands. There's some little ones, there's some private ones, but there's some well-known ones which you may have heard of or read novels about. There's Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket. So there is a ferry that goes from Falmouth, Mass, that takes you to Martha's Vineyard in about 35 minutes. And we absolutely love the vibe of Martha's Vineyard. It's famous because President Clinton and the Obamas vacationed there. In fact, we were just there for a day bike trip from Falmouth and the Obamas were there. But everyone's very chill and they can do their own thing and find their privacy. But there's a lot of fun things to do. We like to bike on the bike trail. There's some great beaches. There's an historic community in Oak Bluffs that's got these little Victorian gingerbread style homes that was started as a camp meeting house and is now these adorable little vacation homes. There's the oldest carousel in the US is right in Oak Bluffs. Great place for the kids. So we just love the vibe. And then up island, it's much more quiet, with lots of open land and much more mellow. Then you can go to Edgartown, which sometimes we joke and is called the Wellesley of the islands because there's lots of preppy shopping and places to park your yacht, but a great getaway. Nantucket has much different vibe. You tend to dress up and go out to dinner more, and whereas on the Vineyard, it's like t-shirt and sandals is just fine. But also absolutely beautiful, stunning beaches, beautiful historic homes, and also you can stay in a little condo or a little campground. So if you're commuting to the islands, you have to factor in your car or bus ride to the Cape, and then you got to hop on the ferry. So the ferry to Martha's Vineyard is, as I said, less than 40 minutes, unless you take the fast ferry. You can take much longer to get to Nantucket. We've actually gone to Nantucket from New Bedford, so you don't have to drive all the way down to the Cape, and there's a fast ferry, which takes less than an hour. So that's the best way to get to Nantucket. The other place I love to talk about that's in the south of Massachusetts is known as the South Shore. So my husband grew up going to Scituate. So it was always known as the Irish Riviera. That was a place where Irish people, like my relatives, they had bought these little cottages if they lived in Boston, and now these cottages have all turned into beautiful year-round homes right on the water. That's an easy commute from Boston, but again, you can definitely hit some traffic. But there's a great town center. My sister-in-law keeps a boat there, so that's easy for us to pop down in less than an hour and go hang out for dinner looking at the water. Now, the North Shore of Boston is just as beautiful. I absolutely love Marblehead and Gloucester, and grew up going to the Wingersheet Beach, which is in Gloucester, which is about an hour north of Boston. And Marblehead has these gorgeous historic homes in the town center and a really nice port. Rockport is a place where you'll find artists doing watercolors on easels right live by the beach, and that's an easy ride too. It's just a different vibe from the South Shore. It's funny, you definitely find that people grew up either going to one or the other. We mostly went to the Cape. My husband was always in Scituate, and I think the only time I went north was actually when I was in Lexington High School. We had like a beach day, and we would go to Wingersheet Beach. And I know that when my kids got their licenses from Wellesley, they would, if they had a day off, they would tended to go to these beaches on the North Shore. Don't know why. If you're willing to go a little further afield, you can go to New Hampshire, which is famous for its coast and its beautiful lakes. So there is something for everyone in New Hampshire. So Portsmouth is this beautiful historic town where I was up with my girlfriend last year, and I didn't realize there were so many consignment shops. We went to see a show. There was a great theater up there. Actually, it was even a traveling tour of a musical, and really pretty, great, vibrant town center. Lots of places, lots of breweries, have different places to have a drink and look at the water. And I also have family inland in Sunapee. So Sunapee is a place that you can go skiing in the winter. And this is about 2 hours and 15 minutes from Boston proper. And Lake Sunapee is absolutely gorgeous. It's huge, like for motor boats, peaceful and so pretty. And there's another lake called Winnipesaukee, which is even bigger. So people have lake homes all around. So probably more of what you've seen in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, for example. So there are 5 ideas about weekend getaways from Greater Boston that you can get to in 3 hours. So if you have a favorite, share it in the comments and I can talk about that too. But I hope you enjoyed this little snippet of places to go from Greater Boston. And if you're thinking about moving to Boston, please feel free to reach out, as I would love to help you. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe.